Okay. Oh, Burl, how we doing? Alright, just making sure everything is hopefully working. At least I know I have YouTube without a problem. Whew, it's early in the morning. Alright, super short stream because my buddy Don is here. We're probably going to go out and do some Halloween shopping. But I want to make sure that stuff's going on. I'm pretty excellent, actually. I'm absolutely excellent. The new job position is amazing, and it's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But it is kind of, yeah, it's back to work, so. So consequently, it's coming home, being tired, and all that jazz. Alright, let's get these on. And today we're just going to do a little bit of stem augmentation with this lump of clay that I had left over from last time. That I just rehydrated. I think I'm going to quickly also just resauce a little bit. I'm amazed. I put it in aluminum foil and it didn't grow a mountain of mold or anything like that. I was extremely surprised to see that. I should have rehydrated with sauce alone. There we go. I expected this thing to be an absolute wad of mold, but surprisingly, it wasn't. Do a little stem work, and we're going to measure him for base. A Sharpie. I just had my good Sharpie. Alright. It's alright. It's not like I don't have another one. Good. Alright, let's do a little talking at the camera. There we go. Alright. Okay. So at this point, I've got everything pretty well set the way I want it. I've had to poke a few holes in his stem to aid in drying, which I will cover up. But I want to think now about his base and how I want him positioned on Halloween night. Some pumpkins will rock forward, some pumpkins will rock back, but it's important to consider how you want your pumpkin to rest on the ground. And when it's time for that, it's best to just get a sense of, I just put him on the ground, how do I want it to look? And consequently have some sort of bowl or other circular device under them, because what I'm going to do is use this to set him up the way I want him, and then I'm going to take a Sharpie or other marking device and just trace the edge for a cutout with my Dremel. And that way I know that if I cut this bowl shape, this is going to be kind of his ground zero, and when I put him to rest on the floor, this will be the direction he's going to be facing. And then we set him up. So now I know that if I want him to be up like that, then I need to cut out that particular patterning. And it's possible that you may not need to cut out that much depending on the size of the bowl that you used. I may be able to just extend this cut here and go around, or take a 2-inch in marker and cut only a smaller part. But I know that if I cut within this circle, then he will rest at that angle on Halloween night. So, an important note for when you are cutting out the bottom of your pumpkins, to make sure that they are sitting the way you want them. Because otherwise, if you just cut it out by eye, you might find that your pumpkin is all of a sudden looking down way too much on Halloween night, or cocked off to the side too much on Halloween night. So always make sure that before you set it up, you've got a good cutting line and you've positioned it so it's how you want it. I'm going to do a little bit more work on the stem now, but when I cut it out, now I've got my line. Hey Joanne. Cool. I am just doing an extremely short stream today because we're going to go off and do a little bit of Halloween shopping soon. Yeah, I've had several pumpkins actually in the past that have been just off. I didn't really like how they came out. And I have a Samhain on the back of my chair. Hey, cat. Hi, buddy. Good boy. What are you doing, Sam? Hi. Oh, good boy. Are you gonna make that yours? It's always nice to have a fuzzy visitor. Hey, buddy. Good stuff. Thanks much. And good morning, Rita. And hi, Brett. Thank you. Super short stream today, guys, because my haunt partner is in town, and we're going to go off and probably do some shopping for stuff since I just got an unexpected paycheck. But I wanted to add a little bit more clay to the stem for strength. Oh dear, girl. always like adding these ridges to a stem to increase the amount of clay and therefore strength on them. Especially if I know people are going to be grabbing them by the stem for portage. It's fine. Let's see if I can just coat some of these holes. There's a chance that the flour and the paste will just fill them up. Or at least gloss them over so that when they're painted they don't come out with that. Just want to hit the stems of all three of these guys, and then that will be it for today. Nice thing is, though, that pretty much we're on to painting now. Maybe a little sanding for rough spots. And paint away. Even after like a week old, this clay still smooths nicely. I do know it's not going to be as good as it was, just because the bacteria in there will have broken down a fair amount of the starches in the flour. Whoop! Honestly, I may go to our dollar store that's down by our Tractor Supply, because they always have creepy cloth for $1, and everywhere else is like trying to do creepy cloth for like $3.99 or $4, which is ridiculous. Morning, Bruce. Nice, Rita. Very nice. I always like getting that clay to the point where it is sculpting time rather than just adding the shell. That'll add enough texture onto the stem that it's in good shape. Now we'll go shopping. go see if Home Depot has any good animatronics left. Alright. That's really about all I want to do. That stem. Just a quick I'm not dead broadcast.
Ah, yes. We're still alive.
Yep.
We're still alive.
The projects are being made.
Gotcha.
So I'm just going to use up the last of this clay on the stem here. And well, the 3 stems, and then I'm off. Alright, this guy's done. Let me kill the main. I want to do yeah, let's do a close-up. Quick. There we go. Nice, bro. Has the stuff been sitting there for those years, or have you put it to use yet? Just put this one back in its drying spot. Woot. Let's grab Crazy Eyes. Yep. At least that dried up pretty well. That's the joyous thing about this sprout, though. You don't need artistic ability. Persistence trumps talent. Always. My first pumpkin looks nothing like the pumpkins I have now. Nothing at all. If you get the urge, just make a small one. Get a tiny little 6-inch beach ball and make a little one. Don't have to do the go big or go home, just something small. And then do it again. Make a couple small ones. Every time you get more comfy with it. And also, you know, if it's fun. Messes are part of it, though. My craft station back at the old apartment was a bloody shambles sometimes. Well, I can also guarantee that if you have the stuff and you make a beach ball pumpkin with a beach ball at the core rather than a stuffed trash bag, that also helps with the mess. Helps with the mess a lot. Good. Let's see. Reasonably done. I'd like to do more detail on it, but I don't think it's worth it for the time. I like that extra band going up, but I may just witchwood that one anyway. Alright, so that's crazy eyes. I don't think there's anything else left to sculpt on now. Just gonna be what he is. Yep, he's fine. Skelly boy. I know I'm witchwooding his. Hay beans on toast. Yes, it is definitely spooky season. Finally, it's time. Alright, let's finish up the course of that vine. A little splat right here. I agree, beans on toast. I'd say definitely try again, Sprout. Yeah, do the beach ball version. You'll have a lot easier time of it. And doubly so, if you're worried about a mess or anything like that, or you're worried that they're not coming out the way you want them, just make a small one. They sell the little 6-inch beach balls. Those work out extremely well. I've got a few of them left from the Pumpkin Sentinel from last year. Got a little bit of shape in it. I want a clip there. I really don't think this clay is going to last for another week. And realistically, pardon, it shouldn't, because these guys are done but for the painting. Starting to hit that threshold of time in versus sculpting quality. But we'll have 4 new pumpkins for this year's display. Watch his lower jaw. Smoothing. Good. Alright. There's not much else to do. Fortunately, I still have a wad of clay. Is there anything worth claying? I see I put a huge bunch on the back of this guy for counterweightage. We should probably quickly see how he's going to sit on Halloween. Yeah, he's going to need a big cutout, damn. Let's he sits like that currently, which isn't the worst thing, but I'd like him up about there. So the teeth profile, or the tooth profile, is worth seeing. That means he's going to get a cut. Should probably elevate it a little bit. Alright. He's got to get the sitting cut about like that, which actually cuts above the big counterweight mass of clay I put in the back. Perfect. Since we're doing this, let's do it with Crazy Eyes 2. He currently sits like that. And he needs to be like that. So he's going to get a bottom cut. I wonder if we should make him slightly off to the side. Yeah, he's okay straight up. Alright. Just want to do something with his clay. Might not be able to, though. The other one's fine. I could have used it to cap up on top of this stem, but all you need to do for that is just cut the damn thing off. It doesn't have a big enough hole in the bottom to get up in there. Well, let's experiment and see just how long this clay can possibly last. Seems to preserve incredibly well inside the foil. Incredibly well. Alright. Put that there. Just let this paste flush out and sink. And we're good. So, like I said, guys, this is a very, very, very short stream today. So I can do the last with that clay and have it be done. And it's all done now, but for the chopping and the painting. Why we don't add a wedge? You certainly can add a wedge. And the time to do that is if you, for one reason or another, don't want to make a large cut around the bottom. Instead, you want to make a smaller one. But when you sit the pumpkin down, the beach ball ones especially, if you make a smaller cut on the bottom, and even after the smaller cut you're getting instability issues, then what you can do is you can sculpt a wedge or 3 or 4, however many you need to stabilize the pumpkin. I think that for just point of ease, like I probably will not cut out, careful, I probably will not cut out all of that circle I just put on there. I'll probably cut 2 inches inside the whole thing, just so I'm not removing like a dinner plate sized section. Then I'll put it down and I'll see if it still sits the way I want it to, and then if it doesn't, I absolutely will put a couple of just wedge flattening spots on there to stabilize any roll factor, because we put these guys up on hay bales and other places where, you know, if a trick-or-treater bumps into things by accident, these guys can go over, hit the ground, and smash. So I want to make sure that their bases are extremely, extremely steady to prevent that from happening. So you can do that. And the reason for not doing a complete wedge is just because to put this guy, let's mount him the way he needs to be mounted. So he's got to be about there. And then let's angle the camera for visibility. You can probably see just how much space is under here with any luck. Let's give it some context. So here's my Sharpie. And let's put the green cap forward so it's more visible. So there is the Sharpie sitting under there. In order to have him properly at this rough angle, I would have to have a wad of clay about, from this angle here, probably 2 Sharpies thick, there and there, to keep him from rolling. And that means a huge thick wad of clay, and from there I run the risk that the inside of it may not ever dry quite right. So that's why I like to resolve most of my positional issues with a removal of the base rather than building a wedge. But like I said, if you remove some of the base and you've got a mostly stable set with only a tiny bit of wobble, then you can add a couple of micro wedges in there to just increase a flat and keep it more stable. So that is why I don't do wedges, because they tend to be very, very large and they consume a lot of clay. You probably could resolve that by putting a foam section in there, or maybe taking Great Stuff foam and putting it around the bottom and then just wooking it down on the Great Stuff foam and letting the foam harden it. But then you're looking at different materials, and yeah, it becomes a pain. Whereas I can just cut it, and after the cut, it'll sit the way it's supposed to and only require minor stuff. So that's why I don't wedge. That's the long explanation. Alrighty. Yeah. The reason for that much material removal is just that it saves you in the long run. And you don't have to try to put a huge splat on the bottom. Alright, I don't need to clean that, but I do need to wash this out. Alright. So otherwise, guys, sorry, but it's time to sign off so we can go Halloween shopping. Happy October 2nd, everybody. We're finally into the month of Happy Joys. I'm so looking forward to it. It's awesome. It's amazing. Let's reset that. Today we're going to make our Halloween plan. We're going to set out our electric lines, make sure we know where they go ahead of time. It's going to be great. Okay. So take care, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next broadcast, which hopefully I can work in on a weeknight when I am not too exhausted after work, and we will start the painting process because I want these guys done and in my display this year. So we got to get them painted this month. And that shouldn't be too tough, but well. Take care, everyone, and we'll catch you later on.